Hello boys and girls of all ages and golfers in particular. Pete here with the Golf Paradigm. So as many in the Northern Hemisphere are going into the off season, you're going to start training, you're going to take your game to the next level. Maybe you want a little distance, you want a little more accuracy, whatever it is, or even for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere that want to work out during season, a lot of people are going to do things that might not be exactly the best thing for their game. Now, when it comes to training, it's hard to imagine that you can do anything wrong, but if you do things in the wrong form or you do the exercise incorrectly, it might be a detrimental effect as opposed to a positive effect on your game. One of those things that I see way too often is the use of bands in the gym as opposed to pulleys and or free weights. Now, why is that such a bad thing? Because a lot of people are using them, they seem to get a lot of benefit of it, et cetera, on and on and on. But if you look at the strength curve of a band, so let me take this one here, okay? The strength curve of a band works in a linear fashion, meaning the more you stretch the band, the harder and harder it gets, okay? It never eases up. So if you were to chart it on a graph, it would start out in the lower corner very easily, and it would get harder and harder and harder as you got up and up and up and higher. That's a linear measurement. But your musculature works in a curve, so there's a strength curve to your muscle. So for example, if I'm going to do a curl, if I had this dumbbell here and I was going to do a curl, when I'm at 0 or when I start, I don't have very much strength. As I work it up to it's about 90-degree position, I start to get more strength. As I work to 45, it gets a lot more strength. And as I crest over that 45, it starts to go down where I have less strength. But by that point, I don't have to have much strength to move the weight past that 45-degree angle. However, if you're using a rubber band like this one and you're going to do a curl, you both start out at 0, but as you move the band up, you get to your 90 degrees and then your 45 degrees. As you pass over that, when your muscle is starting to lose strength, the band is getting harder to move. So if you're using bands at an accelerated pace or trying to, or using bands excessively, you run a higher risk of working a muscle in the way it was not designed to work. Hence, you run a higher risk of injury. So if you do that too often, what do you think it's going to do to your golf game? So if you can, try to use more free weights in your exercises, or if you have a pulley system, you can use pulleys. Most gyms have a universal system. This in the private gym here, we have a single one, so if you're going to do cable chops from high to low, or we can set this at different angles, it is much better than if we did so with the band. Because again, as the musculature starts to lose strength, the band is getting stronger and harder to move. So if you're going to go into weight training in the off season or in season, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, again, try to stick to cables and free weights as opposed to bands, and I think your body and your game are going to be much happier as a result. If you have comments, post them down below. We'd love to hear from you, or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thanks for watching. Hey everybody, Pete here from the Golf Paradigm. Thanks for watching the video. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to watch more videos or subscribe, you can do it right here.